Hey, I always forget the harness part. I'm going to record this because the other part they always want is how to put the horse to cart. And I forget that too. In fact, that's probably more important than the harnessing, because harnessing is, most people can figure out how to put their harness on, but every harness is different. This one is real thick biothane, so it doesn't do a nice, smooth, easy wrap that stays where you put it like the other one, which I could replace these, but as I'm using it, they're getting softer.
Oh,
so
they're breaking.
Yeah, it's breaking down a little bit, so they're softer. And I actually cleaned all this today, but you wouldn't know it to look at it now. But I will demonstrate how to put to the cart today in this video, because I've meant to, and then I could call that. Back up, please. He's been standing here very patiently while I refit his bridle a little bit, and I still would like another setting. This is our daily cart that we use, and we're going to get a good bit of rain this week, and so I always cover it, particularly on the weekend. If it's occasionally I don't, but you can get a lot of dust, and as you see, all this stuff from the tree. And these are just ATV covers, if anybody wonders, like where can you get that? You get that on Amazon. Just a golf, not a golf cart, but a smaller cover than you might have for a golf cart, but it's for a ATV, and I think this might be large or extra large, I'm not sure, but it does the trick, and it holds up. This is probably 3 years old, this one, this cover. And they have one silver side, one black side. There we go. And then I'll just wheel this little cart stand that came with my mini cart. Easy, simple cart stand to make if you want to, out of PVC pipe. All right. Now we'll bring this up. And I line it up this way behind him first. And I have one side attached already. My rein's out of the way. Hooch that up there. Then go over the other side. This side I'll undo. Probably. I usually have to undo one side to get it on there. Up here. And in our little stays there. Go on my third hole here. Seems like my holes always end up being 3. I'll wrap it as many times or however I adjust it so it'll come out to 3. And then this is loose now. This was on 4. And that's going back up 1 now. That we don't want to, never want to harness real tight. In fact, I don't mind it being looser than this, because when they breathe and they get working, they puff out a little bit more. And this a little tighter. I might want to take the other side down 1. Whoops. Let's see what I got going here. There's always something to adjust, right? Always something. And that's on 4 on this side. There we go. Now, these are the tugs or traces. And this is what the horse pulls from. You want some slack, but not too much. This might even, looks like it could go up 1, but once we get moving, it seems to be fine. So I don't second guess that. We're on 3 on this side. Okay, and that's in there. Lots of things to check. You always check, and then when I'm all done, I do a walk around. I do it every time, because particularly when you're, whoops, sorry, buddy. Particularly when you're explaining things to people. I just popped him in the mouth. He had his head turned around and popped him in the mouth. Sorry, buddy. when I was pulling that out. This I attempted to clean this morning. It still doesn't look real clean. Okay. Now, these are the ones that are slightly problematic. That's the wraps, or these might be called the holdbacks. People call them different things, holdback straps. And then I do on this one, I do 2. And then I go under. My 2's going forward, up the shaft, and then around, and then through, and then back, picking up the trace with the last wrap. And then we end up on 3 for me. 3's the charm. There we go. Check, might as well look at this again while I'm standing here. Just to make sure when I'm on this side that this side looks good. Now we go to the other side. I've already hooked up the trace. Check this, see it's loosened up just a little bit, which is nice. Okay. Pull my rein up so I don't end up with that in the way. And then, that's why I remind myself if I'm going up the shaft. Sometimes I've tried the wrap down here. I've had a little trouble with this popping out when we trot on the particular bumpy ground. It's not a big deal because it'll get caught in that hook and it's not going anywhere really, but I wish it didn't. And when I had my leather training harness before this one, I didn't have as much problem with that. One way always seems to make more sense than the other way. Okay, and then we get that. Try to get that with some traction to it, and then over and back and pick up the trace and bring this buckle forward. Come on, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and in. Now, for the walk around. We already checked that side. I'm checking this side. My buddy is my best buddy, and we both like cookies. So there's another cookie while I go grab the whip, which I should have had out there. Miguel is very trustworthy. I'd walk this far away and go get something and not worry about him. Also, Kate is standing there too, which is good. There's our whip. I changed bits today. I put him back in a little 3-piece snaffle instead of the Mylar. That is very nice. It's a kind bit too. But I just thought I'd switch it up. I ground drive him in that other one. Okay, so walk around, look at the cart. Got a little mud on the tires. I cleaned them pretty good, but they got dirty again. Check my traces, look at everything. Got a good boy right there. Yeah, it looks like we're ready to get in. Looks like I'm ready to get in and drive. 8:18. Okay. Set our workout for they have an equestrian sport. And I usually go with the bicycle because it's got wheels and it keeps a little better track. There we go. That way. That's what I'm doing. Okay, and you will stand. I'll hop in. Got my reins. First, we have a little handicap with this shelter. So it's real important that he not walk through with all those poles. It's real important that every driving horse stand when you ask. Back. Back. Good boy, back. A little bit more. Back. Whoa. Come around. Come around. This is something he's learned lately, Kate, is to come around and cross over step rather than have to make a half circle.
Oh, I get it.
Which is good. Okay, great. I could. Walk up. Good boy. We have a beautiful day. Miguel has been waiting for, he's been standing out there tied probably since 10, maybe quarter to 10, which about an hour and a half, which is fine. He would have been standing in his stall, like Kate said, waiting for something, lunch probably. If, walk on, good boy, walk on, good boy. I do have a longer whip, but I usually don't use it. I have a really nice fleck whip. This one is easy. I know it's better to tap up here, tap on the shoulder. But this one is super easy for me to use for ground driving and for driving. So I just use it. I would work with the fleck this summer. For some, because it does look nicer. And this is my driving arena right over here. And I've got my cones set back up. But I'll wait till the rains are done, and then I'm going to get more of the rocks and the leaves out of there and set back up my place to pull in and back out. And the pool noodles and the pie pans. We switched Miguel's turnout to in there a month ago, and then he took all, it looks like actually, that's probably just brushed, but it almost looks like they dragged it. But sometimes I don't use it for a while, and I think it looks like that. But he took the things that I have down there to de-spook the horses. Miguel disassembled it, so now it's fine, but I like to have that stuff because when I drive the ponies, and the one who's got the best is Barry Hooks from driving, not adventures, could be horse driving adventures or enterprises, but Barry Hook, if you don't follow him for driving, check him out because he's fabulous. And he uses very, very rubber bits, very gentle equipment, believes in the loose rein. Walk on, buddy. And I do as well. Barry's like the king as far as I'm concerned. This was pretty muddy last week. Go ahead. I'm going to go in there too. Yeah. Pretty muddy last week. Good boy. And now it's not, which is nice. And it's going to rain tomorrow. So it's going to get muddy again. And it's not real mud like you have in the Midwest or the South, but it's mud. Because the soil here is pretty dry and sandy. Loamy here. Because they compost the manure and then break it down and then mix it and comb it, mix it, and then dress the fields with it and then run over it. And really I can work out here, do pattern work out here just about any time because they've got it nice and low. Before it used to be pretty rough, and now it's better to work in. Good boy, Miguel. Yeah, I videotaped last week for 35 minutes, and it was a beautiful day, and I just loved it. It was so nice, and it was like this, except the sun was coming through a little bit more, and it just the color of from the light, just everything looked really nice. And then looked, walk on, buddy. It's okay. Yeah, it's just a little water. Walk on. Good boy, Miguel. Yeah, it looked very nice. The light was just really special. And then I looked at the video when I got done, and I had 3 minutes because when the camera tilted down, I I decided I had to fiddle with it a little bit, and what I did was turn it off. So that's very typical of making videos. Some people say when they do their videos for their YouTube channels, a lot of times they have to do them 2 and 3 times over. I don't really edit anything. I just try to do it pretty nice. I know they're not great, but people that like driving or enjoy just seeing the process. I mean, this horse has been driving for 2 years now, good 2 years. And I do drive him very often. Days I don't drive him, I ground drive him. I like him to get 4 to 5 days a week work. I don't come on weekends unless there's something special to come for to drive. But he has his moments because he's a horse, and he's always been curious and sensitive, and a funny guy. He's very humorous, loves his cookies, and he's fidgety. And as he matures, he's 8 or 9, coming 9 now, maybe I'm gonna say. Come on, walk up. He would stop and look at everything. It would take 3 hours to get 1.5 miles if I let him do the pace he would like to do. So I try to get him to walk up. And Monday, I think we drove Friday. Did we drive Friday? I'm not sure. But the last time we drove was Friday. And so it's Mondays, had a couple days off. And I always start out Monday pretty easy. Sometimes I'll end up working a lot more than I think I would. But just depending on how the day goes. He gives me a nice smooth, pretty spook-free drive. I don't fuss with him too much. We need to build up his capacity for weight because we have another cart that's our fancier cart, the buckboard, and I think it might be a little heavy for him, but it shouldn't be if he was in condition. But I can add it. I've been adding an extra passenger. Kate that was there, I used to drive with her a good bit when he was first trained, and we would do this loop twice without stopping, and he was not having any problem then. He's not having any problem now, except that maybe he's just a little bit lazier. And that looks like that might be a little soggy, but we'll walk in and see when we get to the end down here. There's a lot of rocks here, though. That's what bugs me about that part. Those rocks. We'll see what our footprints look like. Yeah, it's pretty muddy. I'd say, yeah, let's go on out of there. Our tires, that's all it would take, right, Miguel? Yeah, that's still pretty squishy. Yeah, it's pretty squishy. Good boy. Trot. Trot. He's used to that we trot in there. We trot over here too, of course, but that's our better track for doing a trot, but we'd have mud everywhere. And he has front shoes on. He's got bell boots on, but we don't want to slip in the mud. This is a little slippery here. I know yesterday, or Friday, I keep saying yesterday, but Friday, we noticed that too. It was a little slippery in there. Good boy, Miguel. When you drive, always be mindful to put some weight in your feet, and have your shoulders back. Good boy. Not for coughing, but for keeping on. Shoulders back and engage your core, just like when you ride. My riding people that took driving lessons were surprised about that. They go, wow, that's really similar. Yeah, I said, yeah, you just don't bounce around. You actually engage your core. Whoop. Speaking of bouncing around, there goes my